Hey guys, welcome into Tech Tuesday here and another episode here on YouTube. So today I wanted to get into a little bit of spring cleaning and privacy settings. I think I might have touched on some of this before, but I was going to do a new video and show you some of these settings. So first thing I want to talk about is Facebook. I don't think a lot of people realize how much data they're sharing. I think we're catching on more and more, but Facebook, Google, all these guys live off of your data. Even Amazon and some of the other companies that are out there, the reason why they can give away a lot of what they do or sell it so cheap is they're selling your data. So like Amazon, as much as I love them and use them, part of the reason their products are so cheap is because they're selling a ton of your data in the back end, whether they're using it internally themselves to market to you better or selling it to other third parties for advertisements, sponsors, or whatever that are on the actual Amazon site. That's where they're making a ton of money as well. So anyways, we're going to touch first here on Facebook. I wanted to go over just some of the privacy settings. So if you log into your Facebook, up here under the arrow, you can go to your settings, and you'll end up at this page. So if you're here, the first thing I check is look at privacy. So under privacy here, you can come in and look at your activity and who can see your future posts. That's the default setting whenever you start a new post is going to be for me to my friends. Instead, you could edit it and make it be everyone if you want. The whole world would be able to see it, or would public or friends accept, and you could leave friends out of that. So I leave it at friends. That's where I like to do it. You can review posts and things you've been tagged in the past. So if you want to look at what other people maybe tagged you in the past, this is an easy place to clean up some of that. And then limit audience for your past things that you shared. So maybe you used to have a bunch that you shared publicly, and now you want to go in and change those back to friends only. Maybe you're about to run for public office, or maybe you just had really crazy years in college. So you can go in and change that so people can't go see your past posts if you wanted to. Who can send you friend requests? Obviously, some of these are pretty self-explanatory. The one big one I usually say is one, limit it as much as you can or as you want to. And then here I have this set to no. Who can search engines find my Facebook profile? If you want to let that, then Google, Bing, Yahoo can find you. But there's other things that are kind of in that search engine category that you may not know about. I just view that as if somebody wants to find me on Facebook, they can find me on Facebook. If they're going to use Google to try to find me on Facebook, I don't really care. And so by doing this, it limits a little bit of who can see some of my data. You can run down and look through some of these other settings. Check your location settings. Face recognition is a big one. I have this set to no. I don't want Facebook to recognize my face in photos and videos and try to use that for advertising or anything else. The big thing then too is apps and websites. Here you can look and see, so Airbnb, the reason why is instead of signing up for Airbnb, I just use my Facebook account, but I limit it to name and profile picture. That's all they can see. And then you can turn on or off notifications. I always turn mine off. I don't want Airbnb able to post to my Facebook because I just don't care to advertise for them, so I have it locked to only me. So if Airbnb tries to post anything, I'm the only person that can see it. If you ever got to the point you say you weren't going to use Airbnb, check this and remove it. There's no point in letting them have access to it. A lot of people have a ton of active apps and websites in here. If you don't use those websites or you don't use those apps, you should remove them because they are collecting data on you off your Facebook page. And you want to limit that as much as you can. Other than that, look through any of these other settings and go in and change them. Like I say, I would look at your location settings and your privacy settings and your face recognition, apps and websites. On the apps and websites, I also tell people to do that on their phones. So Android and iPhone now have a ton of security and settings that you can change on individual apps. Location's a big one. A lot of companies are collecting your location data and you don't realize it. So what you can do with the location data is go turn that off, or maybe set it to only when the app is open. The weather app is a perfect example. If you have it set to always, every time you're moving, your weather app is constantly repolling data. One, it's bad for your battery. Two, you're giving them a ton of information they honestly don't need. So if you go change that to only when the app is open, it will limit to when you open the app, it'll check your location, then it'll give you the weather at that location. Otherwise, it won't know what you're doing. Same thing like the American Airlines app. When I travel, I use that app when I'm in an airport to see what gate I'm at. It'll tell me where the next gate is, the fastest way to get there. And so I have that set to when I open the app, but on a day-to-day basis, I don't let it track me. I even do it with some of the other mapping apps. When the app is open, it can know where I'm at. Otherwise, don't, because they're just collecting data. So anyways, I just challenge you guys when you're sitting around in a waiting room or waiting for an appointment or a meeting, or maybe you're sitting on the john. Just thumb through your phone, turn off settings on, if something doesn't need access to your microphone or your camera, turn them off. Don't let them have access to it. Restrict what data they can collect, because they'll be tempted and they'll collect more than you think. So anyways, yes, tune in next week for another Tech Tip Tuesday, and have a great